Hello, welcome to MCMGIC. How old are you or how young are you tells a lot about your investment habit, or where you are in life. In youth or in age there's always certain investments you can tap to take the advantage over the power of time. As what Warren Buffett got into the investing game early. He bought his first stock, shares of Citi Service for $38 apiece, at age 11. Since, the investing legend has amassed a fortune of $75 billion and become one of the richest men in the world. When it comes to investing, what crosses your mind first? Contentment, resentment and excitement. Though market changes, insightful investment advice is timeliness. Here's how you can invest at every age, as early as when you enter your youth. The power of compounding yield. As saying goes, sikit, lama lama jadi bukit, which is relatively similar to the earlier you begin, the higher accumulated return on your original investment. Early investment facilitates your entry in the world of wealth early. Your money grows with the time. Because of early participation, you can now afford things which others might not, at that age. This puts you ahead of others who prefer investing at a later stage of life. As Albert Einstein famously said that compound interest is the most powerful force in the universe. He said, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it, earns it, he who doesn't, pays it. Thanks to the magical compound yield that you can reap the reward. Ramp up your saving. With early age investments, you develop habit of saving more and investing more. The more you invest, the more higher chance you will seize in the future. To follow that thought process, there's no harm of cutting your expenses when you can plant your seed towards your future. Money is a tool. Instead of thinking of the money you earn as the solution to your problems, think of it as a tool you can use to start the lifestyle you want via smart choices regarding spending, savings and investing. You can then divide your tool into short-term and long-term bucket. For short-term investment goals can be a sweet escape holiday or saving for a house, while long-term goals like early retirement or financial freedom, you will want to invest more aggressively and persistently as you have time on your side to withstand ups and downs, as all investment involves risk. For the rest of us who is planning to start their investment journey in media, here's some head-ups. Media. Dive deeper on diversification. Investing in only one category is alarming over the long term. This is where all-important concept of asset allocation comes into play. Having exposure to mid-size companies, established and emerging international markets to get it further diversified into across asset classes that earns higher return and least risk. How much should you own of each asset class? There is no one-size-fits-all best diversified investment. Many people think investment is risky, but the fact it's way risky not to invest. Investing now or later, the earlier, the better. Early investment persistency consistently give you a nest egg later that you can use for major purchases or, better yet, retirement. Start investing in smaller amounts. Give time to your money to mature. In the end, it solely goes back to your risk appetite and the choice is yours. Never fall in love with short-term pleasure. To learn more about how you can grow your nest egg and start your investing journey, please contact MCM today helpdesk.mcm@gmail.com.
All right, welcome everyone again for our GIS, our Learning Wednesday. Every Wednesday, we always come up with a very educational topic for everyone to learn together with MCM. All right, just now the video very interesting. Even baby also can start investing. Very, very cute video. It's just trying to say that we have to start investing very, very early. The earlier it is, the more better it is, right? So the topic that we're going to bring today, managing emotion for performance. Okay, be it business, be it working people, we all need to manage our emotion. There are some days you are on the roll. There are some days you want to hold back a little bit. So there is a very interesting topic, will be presented by a very interesting person as well. I will talk more about this person in a while. All right, so before we move on, as always, we need to do a little bit of disclaimer. All right, so disclaimer is very important because our speakers that we invite every Wednesday on all our GIS they have their own experience. They have gone through their own life experience, their business experience, and they will they are here to share their experience, and they want to hope we can learn from each other from their experience. We don't quote them, so we are not here to teach anyone to do anything. So we are actually learning from each other in the community. Right? So I hope you enjoy and learn with us today. Right? Also, one more important thing, okay, MCM, we will not private message you for any information, okay? If you guys receive any message saying that we are from MCM and asking for personal information, please do not give your information, okay? There are possible of scams. Scams are everywhere today, so please be careful and thoughtful when you give your personal information. All right, so let me show a quick video about MCM so you can understand more better about MCM. All right, so let's put our attention to the screen. So I hope this video can give you a little bit of experience with MCM. This year 2022, is our 10 years. Okay, it's a decade. To celebrate a decade, we just finished celebrating our 10th anniversary. All right, so basically MCM also has been around 10 years, and we have also presence more than 10 countries. All right, and we also win a lot of awards. Thanks to our GIC members, our partners and board of conveners, and also our professional team behind us has been a great support to us on doing the due diligence, okay, be it participating in any projects that we are in, and also consulting us and opening doors for us. So thank you so much for all our team members, and of course not forgetting our GIC members as well. All right, so I would like to start today's topic with this quick question. Okay, those people who are in Facebook, help me to answer this question. Okay, have you experienced any event in life that has affected your performance at work or business? Okay, could be any event. Okay, yes or no will do. I just want to see anybody engaging with us today, so that we know that you guys are listening, you guys are with us. So I just need to know if you guys have any event in life that affected the performance. It could be good or bad also. All right. So thank you for those people commenting. Yeah, I can see a few people commenting us. Okay, Sim and also Dr. Malani. Thank you for commenting. All right. So this is what we're going to learn today. This is what we're going to discuss today. This is what we're going to learn from each other today. All right. So to dive deeper into this topic, all right, we have this very interesting speaker. Okay, the topic is managing performance, emotion for performance, and the speaker today we have invited is Dr. U2 Kumar. Okay, I know him personally, has been to his training. Okay, he's very down-to-earth person. No doubt he's a very knowledgeable person and very, very good trainer. He knows how to drive his audience to become nuts. He also can drive his audience to be sad, and he also know how to drive his audience to be motivated to fight for their dreams. Okay, he's a chartered master trainer. Okay, he's a chief learning officer of Art of Learning Leadership. All right, and also he's a certified HRDF trainer, and I know he's also an author of a book. The title of the book is The Greater Purpose. Also, I've read the book, very interesting book. So you also maybe can ask him where you can get the book as well. So I would like to not waste so much time. I need to stop sharing and see if he's around with us already. Doctor, are you here with us already?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Surin. Thank you.
All right. So it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, a very pleasure for me to have you with us here. To dive in deeper about this topic, managing emotion for performance. Okay, so maybe you have anything, maybe you can introduce yourself first, and then we can dive deeper into the topic.
Thank you. First of all, thank you to MCM and thank you to you for this invitation. I'm very happy and glad to be able to share a little bit of knowledge that I have. And I am a corporate trainer. Besides a corporate trainer, I'm also an entrepreneur, businessman, and consultant, and I do counseling for people, and an author of a book called The Greater Purpose. because I discovered many of us have purpose, but don't have a greater purpose. So that's why I wrote the 10 years ago when this idea of a greater purpose came. Because many of us, we merely exist in our workplace, yeah, day in, day out. And every time we are looking outside, we are always looking for something outside. Why it's not happening, why that's not happening, why all kind of not the good things happening to me. And you're always looking for outside for a reason, or we are looking for an answer. Yeah. And that's the reason why I wrote this book. Yeah.
Right. So coming to the topic today, managing emotion for performance. When we're talking about this managing emotion for performance, are we talking about working people or are we talking about business people?
Anybody for that matter. Yeah. It's not necessary just business people or working people, even for students, teenagers, any walks of life, right? Any age of life, emotion. See, this is my take on EQ, emotional intelligence, or and stuff like that. It all started with IQ, This is how things evolve. First IQ. They thought developing the IQ will make you complete. Then they realized IQ are not enough, So So they talk about the EQ. If I'm not mistaken, 20 over years, these things started and everybody went to these EQ trainings, emotional intelligence. And then they realized EQ alone not good enough. Now the new one is called SQ, spiritual quotient. So we are all developing, you're all seeking the truth because you're not getting the answers that you want. Let's now not go into that part and just focus on EQ because that is still relevant, and because of this, it affects, because every time your emotion is affected, it has a correlation with your performance, whether you like it or not. You're happy, you produce more. Happiness is the new productivity. When you're happy, you just produce more because when you're happy, no matter how tired you are, you can't keep on working, and then you realize, hey, wow, 7:30 already. You don't know the time is flying because you are enjoying, you are being in this so-called happy mode. But then when the opposite happens, when you're miserable, when you are emotionally challenged, every minute seems to be miles apart. You myself, now only 3:30, now only 3:20. So when you are focusing on the wrong things, it affects your performance. All this is because of emotions.
So we're talking about emotions here, right? And we also, I see somebody in the chat also mentioned AQ, adversity quotient. Oh, this is another new thing that I don't know. So spiritually, I think more Q is coming on the line.
That is not my area of expertise. I have not learned yet, but putting that, I will start working on that in the future. But currently, what I can share is about my experience. My experience means I read and study and all this but I want to bring that to be simplified. There are certain ideas and formulas and all this by certain authors, but it takes you a long time to understand, to grasp the thing and put it into practice, bring it to practical life. So my passion is how can I make this thing simplified? One of those things that I share in my trainings, in my coaching thing is, you see, whenever an event happens in your life, especially when something is negative happens, what do you think most of the time we do? What do you think most of the time? What do you think most of the time? When especially something negative, if something positive is also the same, but let's talk about, because most of the time it is a negative emotion that we are concerned. But even important is a positive emotion. But let's talk about the negative emotion. When something negative happens to you, what do you most of the time do? You think? Just guess a wrong answer.
Of course, I feel down. I mean, of course, I don't feel like working.
This most people.
I will go indulge in food.
Yeah, people find an escape mode lah. They go indulge in food, or they just go and sleep. Some of them go and have a couple of beers, or not necessarily you drink. You can have a cup of coffee, or just want to be alone. Leave me alone, and just want to be their own zone. So own space. I have just to share my experience of what I do in my training and coaching. Whenever an event happens, I brought many ideas together, many thought process of many gurus, many leadership thinkers, and simplified this to so that any ordinary Joe can understand this. Whenever event happens, we do two things, which many of us know heard before. Either we react or we respond. We the situation or respond to the situation, which most of us heard before. Now, what do you mean by reacting and responding? Simplify. When you react, it means your emotion is up. You're emotionally up. When you're emotionally challenged, when your emotion is up, what happened to intelligence? Naturally, your intelligence will come down. Natural process. You cannot be emotionally challenged and intelligent at the same time, because it will dominate your thinking process. Your emotion. So when your emotion is up, intelligence is down, what the words or the action that you do will be hurting somebody. What you say at that point of time, you will probably be regretting it later, because you're using your lowest level of intelligence to respond to the situation. Why? Because it's emotion. And that's why what happened with some of us after 1 hour, 1 day, some of us 1 week, some of us 1 month, some of us 1 year later, we do this. Voila, I do this. That is the state that we call responding. The gap between reacting and responding, because many people talk about change. Now, I've been talking about change for the last 20 years. For things to change, I must first. For things to change, I must change first. For things to change, I must change first. Nobody change. People only change when something massive happens in their life. Change management things that many people do. If you don't mind, if you don't mind, you can ask people who have done change management. They spend 2 years, 3 years in organization, spend a couple of $1 million. After change management, the only thing that does not change is change. Everything else happens except change. After spending so much money, because the change is, according to me, is not a destination. It's a journey. But for change to happen, you need to have awareness.
And I can try to say this. You cannot be a kind person or a good person after going for a moral class.
Yeah, correct. So what I'm trying to say is the gap between reacting and responding, this gap, I call it emotional recovery period. The faster you recover, the higher your level of awareness. Now, why do we react to a situation? Why do we get angry? Have you thought about this? Just give me a wild guess, or maybe some
because
put the chat room.
Because I think from my side, I feel like I accept the thing to be bad to myself. I mean, example, when people call me stupid, I accept it, so I become angry. If I don't accept, I don't get angry.
If I accept,
I become angry lah. But if I say no, I am not. I don't accept. I don't bring it into myself.
One way
I'm angry.
That's one way of looking at it. That's one way of looking at it. If you go and embrace it, you go embrace it. If you're stupid, I'm stupid. When people say stupid, who are you talking about? You're talking about somebody else. What they do is they go and embrace it, and what they do is they accept. Yeah. When what happens, then your emotion goes up. The other looking at it is Now this anger, frustration, disappointment, you know what is why does this happen? Anger, frustration is because of one of those is an unfulfilled need or want. I want a certain thing. If I don't receive what I want, in other words, it's also an expectation. Yes. I expect a certain thing from you or from a relationship, from my colleague, from my boss. When that expectation, when that is not fulfilled, you see, we must go to the root cause. The root cause is when those things are, what happened? Your emotion is triggered. If it's fulfilled, no reason for you to get angry. We talk about husband, wife. Okay, no need, we are talking about workplace, right? We talk. Husband, wife, sensitive.
Don't stay in the house, go outside for a while.
Wife is listening, get into trouble. But we talk about a boss and a subordinate. Let's say I'm the boss and you are my subordinate. Whatever I want, whatever I need, I have an expectation about you, about the job that you need to do. If you have done it, will I get angry? No one. But when that is not fulfilled, then our emotion is triggered.
Okay.
Yeah. So, as a person, as a leader, this is where your awareness needs to kick in. Yeah. To be able to manage your emotions, this is where you need to kick in to realize that to be aware of your expectation. What is my expectation of this particular individual or an event? Because the moment we have an expectation that when that's not met, emotion is triggered. Yeah. So how do I manage this? Now the question is, how do I manage? Number one, again, we go to awareness. Yeah. So when I get triggered, I am reacting. Because I have this expectation about him, what he's supposed to do. When that is not met, I react. Remember the gap between reacting and responding, that's called awareness. Now, I want to move to responding to the situation. When I respond means my emotion has come down, my intelligence has gone up. Remember this, huh? So when I'm responding down, my intelligence is go up. Now, how do I move from reacting to responding? How do I develop that emotional ability to manage my emotion? This is what I apply. This is what I share. 3 things. First, every time that event happens, you must learn to think. You must learn to ask. You must learn to reflect. 3 things. Think, ask, reflect. How to think? The question next is how to think. Huh? Ask yourself why. The question is ask yourself why. Ask yourself 5 why. Why why did this event trigger my emotion? Because there was an expectation. Why was there an expectation? Because I have a deadline to meet. Why is this deadline? So as you keep on asking, the moment you start asking, so first your thoughts will be away from that event and looking for the answer. Because the moment we start to focus on the event, which is negative, which is triggered you, that will expand. If you look at why the idiot, sorry for the language, why the stupid fellow, why the idiot thing like that, then what happened? Because you're focusing on that negative event. So what happens? It will just expand. But now I'm not sitting down and think. I'm asking myself, how could I have contributed this better? What could I have done as a leader? What could I have, even as a subordinate? My boss asked me this. How could I have done better? What should I have? So I'm asking why I'm asking. The moment you start asking, you are actually moving away your thoughts from this event to looking for a solution. But most of us, unfortunately, we focus on the what? Event rather than the solution.
Solutions, yeah, correct.
And that will affect, naturally, that will affect our performance, because when you are focusing on that happen, what happens? Your energy is drained, you become lethargic, you become tired.
I think the energy is there when we become angry, when we become disappointed, when we expect something and people don't deliver, the disappointment, all those things also produce energy for us to do something. So now, are you saying that we should channel our energy? It's still an energy. We should channel it to
channel it to the right track. Yeah, where energy flows, where you focus. So where are you focusing? Are you focusing on the problem, or are you focusing on the solution? Remember, the only thing that you can control is you. What you cannot control is on the outside. People outside that you try to control, what happened? You become more miserable. But most of the time, unfortunately, we want to control things that we cannot control, which is on the outside. We want to control our bosses, we want to control our subordinate, we want to control our wife, we want to control our children, we want to control our mother-in-law, we want to control our everybody else, which you and I know is almost impossible. Not almost impossible, it's impossible. The only thing that you can control is within. Managing emotions has a lot to do with being aware of myself, because I am the only person that I can manage and control. The rest is not easy. It's not so simple. The moment I learn to manage myself, manage my emotion, things around me will not become better. No. Many people think, oh, become better. No, you seem to see the things better. Because your lenses change. Because you see the world with a different set of lenses.
So perception.
How are you looking at the world? It reflects what is happening within.
That's very interesting. We all looking at the same thing and everybody have a different understanding on the same thing.
Yes, correct. Yeah, because we always think the trouble, the challenge in our life is because of somebody else. We always think somebody is the cause to our miseries, the cause to our challenges, the cause of our shortcomings, because of that person, that event. But the truth of the matter is you.
That's very easy. Very easy, man. Very easy to point fingers.
Yeah, easy to point finger. Easy, very easy to point. But you understand, when you point finger at somebody, you think you can solve the situation, you become more miserable. I take charge of my life. How could I have done better? How could I improve? Yeah, that's why practicing of journaling is very important. Nowadays, you have this tool called journaling. I know some of us no time, very busy. Yeah, no time to do journaling. Very simple. One of those things I practice or share is write down. If you got no time to write down, just reflect. How could I have done 2 things better from what happened to me? Whatever event happened, what are 2 things that the event happened I could have done better? Reflect. Because remember, the only person you can coach, mentor, develop is yourself. Yes, maybe, because you are not in control of that particular individual. Even your own children, you are not able to control. Don't talk about people who are outside.
True. Okay, I think I have a question. Okay, we all grown up in a different life. We have different events that affect our emotions, and there are always some trigger. Like just now, when we have expectation on our subordinate, if they don't deliver, we feel triggered. I think the word triggered is very important here. Sometimes when people call us lazy, it will trigger us, but when they call us stupid, it won't trigger us. It could be because our parents keep telling us we are lazy when we are small. I know it could be because of past things.
In psychology, they call it conditioning.
The meaning that we give to the words.
The programming that's inside. Yeah,
yes.
The programming that's inside. Yeah. So when that programming is triggered, it creates a certain reaction.
Correct. So when that happens, it's like carved in stone in our brain already. How can we identify this and break them? Because sometimes we don't even know this is our trigger, but when it happens, we just react. How to identify these things and to break the pattern, and I mean, then only we can start to think, ask, and react.
See, whenever an event happens, for me, I call it journaling is for long haul. For long haul means it's not an immediate so-called remedy. Think and ask, like the moment something happens, when you're reacting, see what happens is the moment you're starting to be aware. Every time an event happens, you jump up, you quiet, you don't react. See the gap, the reacting and responding, the gap will start to come down. Whenever something's happening, you will tell yourself, hey, what you did? This is called awareness. Then you will sit down and think, within that nanosecond, you think, you ask, reflect. How am I contributing? How am I contributing to this event? Because you are recognizing what is triggering you.
I think when
psychologists and all that to do this, for me is no need. I've gone through all this exercise, or there are many things that you can do to manage it. One of those called emotional freedom technique, EFT. There's some certain energy points. For some of you are watching, you maybe can Google it or YouTube it later. There's some energy center where the energy is blocked. You can do the tapping. They call it EFT, emotional freedom technique. And the other one, because of energy block, that triggers you. And the other way, some of you might have anxiety because of that emotion, anxiety and stuff like that. You can do what we call as box breathing. This is used by the US Navy SEALs. Yeah, this is not Kumar Sevan. This is research, and US Navy SEALs use this technique called box breathing to help to develop yourself to become more calm. By the way, this is an ancient science. Yeah, the Indians have been using 5,000 years ago, but the Western school have now modified it and patented it and call it box breathing. Actually, in the Hindu tradition is called pranayama.
Okay. So yeah. All right. I think right now, when event happen, I think we have to monitor ourselves whenever we get angry or disappointed. All right. So
I don't want to use the word monitor. I want you to recognize this word called awareness. Just being aware. How am I reacting to the situation? That's why I'm talking about before change can happen, awareness. Awareness before change. For transformation.
So what is the first thing that we need to do? Okay, I'm aware that I'm angry right now. What is the first thing I do? I must change something.
No, don't change anything.
Instead of reacting, what should I do first?
Yes, stay silent.
Stay silent and breathe.
Stay silent and observe. Stay silent and observe your breath. Just observe your breath. Because see, whenever you get angry, your breathing pattern changes. You see the correlation between breathing and emotion. The moment your emotional state change, your breathing pattern change. Correct? Which means if you change your breathing pattern, you can control your what? Emotions. Can you see the relationship?
Yes.
That's what everything is all about. So the moment you observe your breath, you're controlling your what? Your emotions.
So I think that is the very, very important part of the whole presentation today. That is the most important thing. I think all of us also can practice.
No, based on, I did a research work, and the US Navy SEALs use this. They go into underground. They go to subsea, and people they face all kinds of challenges. Needs to be calm. They mustn't allow the emotion to take control, because The moment they allow emotion take control, they might do something not so intelligent, because when you lose control, some stupid decision and can hurt your people. And brought in by the US Navy SEALs.
All right. So after we start to do the breathing, then we can do the think and ask and reflect. I think maybe you can, the reflect part, maybe you can explain a little bit more. I understand totally that think and ask.
Reflect reflect our Muslim friends have this word called muasabadi. Reflect is every time you go silent, as you see, every time you get into a situation, you just observe your breath. As you observe, you know your breath. As you start controlling your breath, your emotion starts to come down. And then you start to ask yourself this question. Think, how, like I said, what is my contribution to this event? Yeah. How could I have done this? What could I have done better? Yeah. So when you start asking this, you will get your solution.
Okay. So
that's yeah.
So I can let me summarize this. From what I learned from you today, event happened. I'm pissed off. First thing I have to do is breathe. Right? I have to breathe first, and then I have to think, and I should ask if that
think and ask within yourself.
Ask within ourselves, and then we have to reflect and think of a solution that can solve the problem. Instead of reacting, we should respond. All right, respond in a way to solve the problem instead of just release our anger or
at that point, don't try to think of a solution.
Okay.
Emotionally challenge you. Your whatever solution that you think of will be half baked.
Okay.
You calm, your thought becomes clear. When there is clarity in your thoughts, your solutions are clear. When your thoughts are muddled, your solutions is similar. So the first thing is, see, we are all rushing for solutions. Unless it is a do or die situation, then you need to make a decision. You see, many people also need to understand what is the problem. There are 4 quadrants in the problem. It's called simple, it's called complicated, it's called complex and chaotic. So you need to understand what is the problem, which quadrant is the problem. And then you make a decision based on the quadrant. So it's not like simple process like this. You need to master many. Yeah, but for simple reason is, for me, is when an event happens, just be silent, observe your breath, because you're changing the state of your mind through your breath. Because your breath has been taken control of your mind by your emotions. Now I want to reverse the other way around. So once I start to be calm, then I start to think, ask, reflect about me contributing to that particular event. I'm not looking for a solution yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah? And then once I'm calmer, then I will go into that solution process. And the solution, like I say, I need to identify which quadrant am I in, and then from there take it to the next one.
So this can be used in any event. Could be something catastrophic happen in our life, something that we cannot accept. And there are some events that happen within the family that we also might. Yeah, I want to ask about that actually. There are some events that loss of family members getting sick and all. And we somehow brought that emotion to work, and that actually affecting our work. Can you share something about that? How could people, I mean, I won't say it's easy to be out. Definitely it's very difficult for somebody to have some losses to be performing. What can they do?
Actually, it depends the loss. If somebody very, very close, I think the best thing is don't go to work, take a break. Because you're not going to contribute anything positive. Yeah, because see, time is an essence for any emotional recovery. Time is the basic essence. Yeah. So if you have been in this situation, somebody very important, you lost somebody important, it is, and my advice is take a break, because you are going to you're going to be so easily triggered, because you are at the lowest, your emotion is very high and intelligence is so low. So any little event will just trigger you, and you are might not be contributing much positive to the environment. Take a break, go and do what you like. Yeah. Some people, whatever you like, to slowly recover from that state. Remember, time. You need that time, that space for you to slowly get back to normal.
I think by practicing this regularly, I think we can somehow shorten the time we need to recover and come back.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we are already exceed our time because it's so interesting talking to you. Okay, Dr. U2 Kumar, is very, very interesting talking to you, and there's of course so much to learn from you. We hope we can hear from you and on different topic on another day, right?
Sure.
All right, so thank you again. Thank you so much for your precious time sharing with us. I know you're very, very busy right now, so really, really appreciate your time and your attention and your kindness to share your big knowledge, a lot of knowledge. We just poke a hole and take a little bit of your knowledge. And thank you so much again for sharing with us. Okay, so thank you. I hope I can see you in person soon. All right, take care.
Thank you to you, and thank you to MCM for inviting me to share this. Thank you to the audience for spend some time listening to you. Yeah, thank you so much.
I can see the audience are very engaging today. There's a lot of people answering your questions and also trying to engage and understand better. Okay, so thank you again. I will wrap up today's event and we will end in a while. All right, so allow me to share my screen again. All right, so we would like to really thank you. So for those people who can see in the Facebook, and maybe you can say a little bit thank you and a thumbs up for our speaker today, Dr. U2 Kumar. It's just a little bit. We try to pick a topic that relevant for our day-to-day life on how we can improve, on how we are doing things daily, and we have many type of topics okay, so like business and investment and so on. But today's topic, very, very good topic, which is relevant to most of us, right, on managing emotion for performance. All right. So thank you so much again for our speakers and also our audience today that are willing to spend your precious evening after working hours. Okay, come and spend with us to learn with us as well. All right, so for those people who haven't get this book, okay, please grab this book by scanning this QR code. The offer is still available, 10% discount for the book, Investment Strategy for Global Real Estate and Business. Right, very, very interesting book, something a technical book for us to learn about investment strategies. All right, and next week on Wednesday, we have this interesting topic as well. It's not about why you invest. It's about why don't you invest? It's a question mark. Why don't you invest? Okay, we were brought by our speaker, Mr. Charles Kimbat. Yeah, it's NCM relationship executive, which is on 14th September. Hope you guys can join us again next week, next Wednesday, same time in Facebook. All right, so I would like to end today's presentation, today's event with a thank you. Okay, I said so much of thank you today because I feel so thankful and I have want to show my gratitude to our guests and also our speakers. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope I can see you again in our next event and next presentation. My name is Suren. I will end today's presentation with a quick video. After we watch the video, we'll end live. Thank you.
If you are looking to join a knowledge-driven investment community to learn solid investment knowledge with other like-minded investors, property investment life cycle, business investment life cycle, market industry outlook, insightful business innovation, global investment strategies, tax and legal related matters. Now you can access all this investment knowledge through our global investment seminars. Do like our Facebook page to find out more about our seminars. Our help desk ready to serve you.